The nation's opioid crisis deepens, and tonight you're going to see another raw reality. Healthcare workers on the front lines, they're not immune to addiction either.
No, they're not. And Fox 59's Shannon Hauser shows us the story of a nurse who went to work every single day hiding a huge secret.
I got the chance to meet Lori Reinbarger. She's living her dream of being a nurse at a recovery center, but years ago, her story was a lot different.
I started out on the switchboard when I was like 16.
For Lori Reinbarger, you could say nursing is in her blood.
I came from a long line of nurses. My grandmother retired as a nurse. My mom retired after 42 years.
The caring, compassionate mission to save lives embedded in her genes.
My heart is in it, and I love the patients, and I love my coworkers.
But there's also something else in her genes.
My dad became addicted at age 60. By 63, he was dead. My sister died of an overdose in 2014.
Addiction nearly killed Lori as well.
My addiction took me places that I never in a million years thought I would go. I mean, I was dead. My heart stopped beating.
Lori started doing drugs while on the job as a nurse. After her father's death, she dealt with postpartum depression during the birth of her son. She says that's what started a downward spiral that would later put a huge dent in her promising career.
My son was 4 months old, and I still had pain medication in my medicine cabinet from when he was born. But I remembered thinking, those gave me a little bit of energy. This will help get me through the morning. I've got to keep going.
Lori isn't alone. Studies estimate about 10% of nurses nationwide have an addiction. Indiana has seen recent high-profile cases of both doctors and nurses getting caught using and abusing drugs at work. This year, 3 nurses at Ball Memorial Hospital were arrested. One nurse is even accused of stealing fentanyl from automated dispensing machines. About 500 of 130,000 licensed nurses in the Hoosier State are addicted to drugs and alcohol.
Obviously, this is a very high-stress environment, and nurses are expected to do a lot more with less.
Chuck Lindquist is the program director for Indiana State Nurses Assistance Program, or ISNAP. When a nurse is caught with drugs or admits to an addiction, they're referred here.
Currently, we're monitoring just over 400 nurses in monitoring. We have another 70 or so through the intake process.
He says easy access to drugs is the #1 reason nurses become addicted.
They'll give the medication to the patient, and then they'll take what's left over.
Those safeguards are in place, but there are ways around that if you are very motivated to use.
He admits getting help can often be difficult.
The majority of them, there's a hammer over their head.
Nursing is the most in-demand profession in Indiana, according to the state's Department of Workforce Development. And the pressure to keep a good job means many nurses will do anything to feed their addiction.
You have to show up to work. Work is your drug dealer.
For Lori, she says she hid her addiction from everyone. Even her bosses didn't know she was high at work.
Oh my gosh, I hid it for years. I didn't miss a ball game. You know, I was that mom who was at every ball game. High. Had to be.
After getting caught stealing drugs, going through dozens of jobs, going to jail, and even an overdose, Lori took the steps to change her life in January 2015.
I remember that feeling, but I knew if I didn't take that step, I was going to be dead.
She's now working as a recovery nurse at Fairbanks, sharing her story in hopes of inspiring other nurses to get help before it's too late.
So for any nurses out there that are thinking, no way, you think if I do this, my career is over, my life is over. There is hope.
Lori tells me no one ever reported her to ISNAP, and she says she wishes someone did. She could have gotten help a lot sooner. You can report yourself, a family member, or coworker to ISNAP to get help. For more information on how to do that, check out the story on fox59.com.